guys, I'm Emily and welcome back to my channel. It has been quite some time since I posted a video, and I know in the last video I said I was going to be consistent and keep posting, but I didn't. But it is my goal now to post once a week, every Sunday. See you guys here, and this time I'm really going to try to follow through with it. In today's video, we are doing like the New Year's tag video. I originally saw Larry Reed's do this. I did cut out a few questions like towards the end, but other than that, it's very, very similar to what she did. Let's see what she called it. She called it the beginning of the yearbook tag, so that's what we're doing today. If you guys enjoy, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell down below, and also check out my TikTok if it doesn't get banned. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started right away. So the first question is, how many books are you planning to read in 2025? And if I'm looking down, it's because I have everything written down here. And so my Goodreads reading goal this year is 30 books. Last year my goal was 20 books, and I ended up reading 28. And so I feel like 30 is a goal where I'm still pushing myself, but it could also happen. Like, I'm not a crazy fast reader. I don't read a ton. I try my best to read as much as possible, and I have been doing really well this year, almost reading every day so far in 2025, which is a goal that I had, is to just read a little bit, even if it's just one chapter. And so yeah, if I have a good book, I really find time to pick it up, obviously, and so my goal is to read 30 books and just make sure that I'm making time to read throughout the year. The next question is a book you're likely to reread this year, and I'm really not into rereads. Like I said, I don't get all that much time to read and pick up books. And so because I have too little time and too many books, I feel like rereading is just a waste of that time, and I would rather read something new that I haven't seen before. But if I did have to say one book that I would probably reread, it'd probably be Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan, because one book that I want to read in 2025 is Travis, which is the sequel. Not even a sequel, it's just from a different perspective of the story. It's from Archer's cousin Travis. And so I'm thinking that maybe if I would like to do a reread, it'd be Archer's Voice, so that I could re-immerse myself into the story as a preparation for going into Travis. The next book is a priority read on your 2025 TBR. And for this one, I'm choosing If Only I Had Told Her by Lauren Nowlin. This is the second book, comes right after If Only He Had Been With Me. I just recently finished that. That was my last read of 2024. And so I want to dive back into this one. The cover just gives me February vibes, and obviously if you know the story, it's a love story. So I'm probably going to dive into this in February near Valentine's Day, but this is what I'm choosing for my priority read. Next is an author you won't be reading more books from, and this is going to be kind of controversial, but it's the second I heard this question, I knew exactly who I wanted, and that is Emily Henry. She is an author that I have tried a couple different times now. I originally read People We Meet on Vacation a couple years back, and I just wasn't a fan. I think I gave it 2.5, maybe 3 stars, and for me that's a really low rating. And I just wasn't a fan of her writing, but I was whatever, I'll give her another shot. And so then I tried Happy Place, and I could not get in it. I don't know, something about her writing is just not for me. And especially because of how hyped up she is, maybe that adds a different layer to it of just expectations. But I did not like any of her books, and so she's an author that I will not be picking up this year. The next question, I don't know where the book is. I completely lost it. Found it. The next question is a popular book you want to read this year, and mine is The Love of My Afterlife. I got this book for Christmas, and again, this is about love and a love story. I'm kind of thinking maybe February, but also this gives May or springtime just because of the cover. And obviously this has been a popular book that's been going around a lot last year. It's really bright. It's not focusing on the book. This is a very popular book that went around last year, and if you don't know what this is about, it is about a girl who dies because she chokes on a hamburger, I believe. And basically she meets the one in the afterlife, the person that she's meant to marry, and she is going to be able to be with him forever in the afterlife if she goes back to Earth for 10 days and falls in love with him. It sounds like a really cute story, and I'm excited to dive into it, and it's been very popular, so I feel this was a great one for this category. Next question is your most anticipated 2025 book release, and so I have 2. The first one is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have not dove into a Taylor Jenkins Reid book in quite some time. I don't know if I read one last year or if it was the year before. Whenever Carrie Soto Is Back came out, I read that. I think it was 2 years ago. No, it was in 2023. At the beginning of 2023, I read Carrie Soto Is Back, and that was the last Taylor Jenkins Reid book I read. And when I was first getting into reading back in 2021, 2022, Taylor Jenkins Reid was my favorite author. I loved all of her books. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was one of my favorite books of all time, and Malibu Rising, I really enjoyed all of those. So I'm super excited for her new release, which is Atmosphere, and I'm hoping that by reading this book, it'll kind of get me back into the Taylor Jenkins Reid universe. The other release that I'm excited for is The Crash by Freida McFadden. I love Freida McFadden in 2024. I fell in love with her books, The Housemaid, that whole series, The Teacher, The Coworker, all of those books I read and absolutely adored, and it's my goal to read every single Freida McFadden book. And so in 2025, hopefully I can make a dent in that, and The Crash is her new release, so I'm excited for that. The next question is a bookish goal for 2025, and mine is just to read more nonfiction. I started the year off. I have one book so far that I've read this year, and that is The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. It's like her story, and so it's an autobiography about her life, and that is already one nonfiction book. I'm going to try my best to read 5 nonfiction books this year. That is a sixth of my reading goal is, 5 out of the 30 books. And so some that I'm looking at is like Mary Bonnet, which is Selling Sunshine. That's been on my TBR for quite some time. So that would be like 2, and then find 3 more throughout the year to read. Okay, sorry if the angle changed, but we're back. Next question is a book that's been on your TBR you probably will never read. And the second I heard this question, I knew exactly what my pick had to be, and that is A Little Life. And I feel like this book has been getting less and less popular because either everybody read it or everybody tried it and never picked it back up again. I am that person that tried it and never picked it back up again. First of all, this book is so long, super intimidating, and it's obviously just about really heavy topics. Like, just look at this cover. The thing is, the print is so small. The book is huge. Like, this is gonna take forever. It has so many pages. And up until like last year, I heard just so many good things about this, but I feel like as more people have read it, I've heard like worse and worse things. And obviously, I'm sure the book is still good, but I just don't know if I can ever commit to this. And especially because of, how heavy this book is, sometimes that's not what I'm looking for. Next question is a series you want to read this year. I don't really know. I don't really have any series picked out. All of last year, if you guys saw any of my videos, you would know that I always wanted to start the Chestnut Spring series, but just right now I'm not in the mood for that. Maybe in the summer, but I don't really know if I want to commit to that for this year. Especially because I've learned that it's just like mostly spice, and that's not really what I'm into. So I kind of am steering away from that, but maybe I'll give it a try at some point. And the other thing that I chose is like maybe ACOTAR if I'm in the mood for fantasy, but I don't really like fantasy that much, but I'll try to dip my toes into it if I can. Next question is your auto-buy authors going into 2025. And I kind of already talked about both of these. My 2 authors are Taylor Jenkins Reid and Frida McFadden. I love both of their books. All of their work is always super good, and those are always my auto-buy authors. And as you guys know, I am planning to buy both of their new releases this year. The next question is a book to show adaptation you're excited for this year, and mine is like a movie, but I'm still counting it, and that is The Housemaid. This is coming out on Christmas, so it's still 12 months away, which is such a long time. I just want it to come now, but I'm super excited. The Housemaid was like one of my favorite reads of last year, and so it's definitely a book that I'm super excited for, and I can't wait for it to come out and see the show, the movie, whatever. And it has like a super good cast, so I'm super excited for it, and I'm sure it'll be really well done. The next question is a sequel you are anticipating, and I don't know if this means like a new release sequel that I'm anticipating, but I'm not counting it as that. I'm just counting it as a sequel that I want to read this year, and that is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I'm hoping to make this my next read because it really just gives like January this cover. Plus it's on Kindle, and so the fact that it's on Kindle Unlimited and a paper copy is perfect because in whatever mood I'm in, I can pick that up. But yeah, basically this is the second book in the trilogy of Divine Rivals. The first one's Divine Rivals, the second one is Ruthless Vows, and it basically takes place over like a war, and there's like magic. It's like magical realism, I would say, and obviously it's fantasy because there's like gods and like these wars and the gods. So yeah, I'm excited to pick this up, and I've heard a lot of people say that this one isn't as good as the first one, and that this one has a lot more fantastical elements and less romance. So I'm kind of thrown off by that because I personally like Divine Rivals for the romance more than the fantastical elements, but I'm gonna give this one a try and see what I think. Now the last question is bookish things you are leaving in 2024, and the thing that came to mind right away was going too far into a book without DNFing it. I have found that I have just wanted to keep pushing and trying books, and I would get too far into them, and then I would just not want to read, and I would just go into a slump. I wouldn't want to read any books. So I'm going to start DNFing and starting more books sooner than just keep trudging through and trying to read a book that I'm not enjoying. Because I'm trying to read 30 books this year, and even though that may seem like a lot, they need to be ones that I enjoy in order for me to actually keep reading them. That is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and like I said, I'm going to try my best to be more consistent, so let me know down below any videos that you want to see from me. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe down below, follow my TikTok, all that stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!